Assalamualaikum everyone. Today I am going to describe Lord Byron's Don Juan, Canto 1. Summary of Don Juan, Canto 1. The poet wants an uncommon hero for his epic. He will not take a traditional hero, so he selects his hero from the contemporary pantomime Don Juan. He does not choose his contemporary military and naval leaders such as Barnab, Briston, Condirect, Mirabeau, Petius, Granby, and etc. There are brave men before Agamemnon. Even he does not select his hero from them. His hero, Don Juan, was born in Seville, a pleasant city of Spain. It is famous for oranges and women. It is more beautiful than all other cities in Spain. His father's name is Don Jose, and that of his mother is Donna Inez. They lived beside the river Guadalquivir. So basically in this part, the poet introduces us the hero who is uncommon, not traditional and different from other heroes. The poet also introduces the city where he born, Seville of Spain, a famous city of Spain, which is famous for oranges and women, and his father and mother. They lived beside the river Guadalquivir. Don Jose was a true hidalgo, meaning pure-blooded Spanish. He was free from all stations of Moor or Hebrew blood. He was a better cavalier, but he had never mounted a horse. He was a careless man and did not have much respect for learning and the learned. He did not care to go anywhere, but he liked to pluck pleasure. There were rumors that he had two mistresses beside his wife. Don Jose quarreled with his wife, Donna Inez, quite often. This part describes Don Jose, who is the father of Don Juan. Donna Inez was a learned but hypocritical lady. She was supposed to have knowledge about every branch of science. She made the cleverest people quite ashamed. She had a good memory. She knew even the lines of drama of the famous dramatists like Calderon and Loeb. So Donna Inez is basically an intelligent woman. She was fond of mathematics and magnanimity. She knew Latin, Greek, and French, but was not quite aware of her native Spanish language. Her mode of speaking was not pure, her conversation was affected, her thoughts were as difficult as theorems. She wore dimity in the morning, silk in the evening, and muslin in the summer. So basically, she was a fashionable woman also. She had good opinion of herself. Don Jose and Donna Inez often quarreled. So they doesn't have a good relationship term. They led an unhappy sort of life. They wished each other's death, but not divorce. She tried to convince the druggist and the physicians to prove her husband insane. She kept a diary to note the faults of Don Jose, but they did not show outward sign of inward strife. She was compared with the Spartan ladies who saw their husbands killed and without hesitation they chose their next husbands. Their friends tried to reconciliation. Their relatives also tried, which made their matter worse. The lawyers did their best for divorce, but scarcely any fee was paid on their side. However, Don Jose died of severe fever. After his death, one of his mistresses had been taken away by a priest and another by a Jew. Okay, next, our hero, Don Juan. Don Juan was a little curly-headed child. He was a good-for-nothing, mischief-making monkey. So basically, from childhood, he was very naughty, very mischief-making. He was also considered an unquiet imp of earth. After the death of his father, Juan became a sole heir of for chancery suit, masses, and land. His mother became his guardian. Inez decided to make her son an all-round man. He learned the art of riding, fencing, and gunnery. He also learned to scale a fortress of a nunnery. She appointed tutors to teach Juan morality and ethics, but his wise tutors had to struggle to teach him morality. So basically, his mother, tried hard to make her son all-rounder or expert in all things, but as he was naughty, so the teachers have to face struggle. Donna Julia, the heroine of this epic. Donna Julia was one of Inez's many friends. She was very pretty and attractive. Many charms were added to her beauty. She was charming and chaste. Her eyes were large and dark. Her glossy hair was clustered over brows. Her brows was bright, fair, and smooth. Her cheeks were of purple color. She was 23 and married, a man of 50 years. Alfonso was her husband. He was good looking for his age. It was an ill-matched marriage, and they were unhappy. Donna Inez maintained intimacy with Julia. There were no common tastes between Donna Inez and Julia. Donna Inez maintained this relation because she had a love affair with Alfonso before her marriage, but society did not allow them to be united. As a result, they had to stay in different places, but their social separation could not kill their inner feelings for each other. It was Inez's desire to continue the relation by maintaining a formal relation with the wife of Alfonso. Julia saw Juan since his childhood and quite innocently cursed him. But this passage of time, this innocent relationship turned into love and then the love changed to desire. Juan, at the beginning of their love, could not understand the advantages of Julia. He was embarrassed. Julia could understand everything while he could perceived nothing, but in course of time, passion takes this position in the heart of both Julia and Juan. There were deeper sighs of separation. There were also stolen glances and burning blushes. They trembled when they met and became restless when they took leave of each other. There were clear symptoms of their being possessed by love. Though she wanted to resist herself, could not help it. So she thought that love was divine and platonic. On the other hand, Juan was a wretched little fellow. He was as foolish as Medea, the tragic heroine of Ovid's Miss Medea. He was puzzled by the new situation. He was silent, pensive, idle, restless, and slow. He could not understand the reason of torments of his heart. He did his best to control himself. He thought about himself and about the earth, man, and star. She saw loneliness and mental agony of Don Juan. She was also surprised to see that Donna Inez was carefully careless about the agony of Juan or his intention. Perhaps she did an ill motive for which she allowed Juan to mix with Julia. Her motive was to open the eyes of Alfonso. The object was to take pleasure from Alfonso by spoiling the relation between husband and wife. However, Julia and Juan fell victims to their lust. She thought of herself of Juan's youth of Alfonso's old age, so she decided to pluck them a pleasure from Juan. They have enjoyed themselves in various places at various times. The incident of the 6th Juan was remarkable. At 6:30, Julia sat in the bower with Juan. She was then as beautiful as Houri described by Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, so rest of this description says that Juan and Julia were caught by Alfonso, and then Juan was, however, sent to European countries for his moral education. On the other hand, Julia was sent to convent her purification. From there, she wrote a letter to Juan. In that letter, she told him about her sincere love for Juan. She lost the state station, heaven, mankind, and her own esteem for the sake of her love for Juan. This shows Julia's love for Juan. She didn't forget the lovely moment, the love for Juan. She could not forget that sweet memory. She couldn't forget the sweet memory between them. She also told him that love was not indispensable to man's life, but love occupies the whole existence of a woman. That means love matters woman more than a man. Love may depend on the court, camp, church, the vessel, the sword to fill up his time and heart. Finally, she bade farewell to Juan, begged his pardon, and demanded love from him. So, Lord Byron's Don Juan Canto 1 shows Don Juan as a Byronic hero. Byron has given his views about the morality of his poem and assures the readers of his sincerity. He also says that man is running after fame, which cannot be achieved fully. Thirsty men write, speak, and praise for fame. For fame, heroes kills men while the birds burn tapers at midnight to write poems. Lastly, he ended this canto with the hints of bribe that is frequently taken by editors of papers. Thank you so much.